Hey guys, the EU posted something on X the other day. EU Council, homophobia, biphobia, biphobia. I never heard of that one. And transphobia have no place in the EU or anywhere in the world. Well, why stop at the world? Why not just say the solar system or the galaxy or the universe? This is a grand proclamation. We will not tolerate homophobia. Number one, phobia means fear of. So if someone has a fear of something, who cares? That's up to them. But I think they mean objecting to the practice. But one of the things, Z Man, who I do a show with every Wednesday night, you got to check out. It's a great show. He brought up something, and I thought about it. And there's a question you always have to ask when you hear these moral proclamations they give out, because they just say this as a given that so-called homophobia, biphobia, and transphobia, and in other contexts, they would say racism, sexism, Islamic phobia. Did I miss any? I don't know, but you get it, right? That is just by definition bad, and we shouldn't tolerate it. But the question we should always ask is, who says? Really, who says that these things are bad? Who made this moral determination? The EU, right? So people that got elected to the EU, which are mostly politicians. And when you think of politicians, do you think of really moral people that you admire? No, I mean, as politicians, you think basically above pedophiles, kind of like used car salesman type personalities, people that will stab each other in the back to get whatever they want. They lie, they manipulate, they try to get money from foreign powers or from industries. They're just all about narcissism. They're power hungry. This is politicians, left or right, Republicans or Democrat, and I would say in the world, they're the same way. So politicians are kind of the worst of the worst among us. They really are. So we put the worst of the worst among us, and they're the ones that get in power. So these are the people that are making this moral proclamation. And the question is, why should I consider this valid? It doesn't make any sense because these people are corrupt. They're evil. I do not respect them. Why should I accept this? This is a big question that needs always to be asked. Now, another thing's of morality, traditionally, how it came about was, well, who says is, well, God says. And you may not believe in God, that's fine. But at least that's a better argument. It makes more sense if God is real. Now, if he's not real, that's a different thing. But let's just assume he is real. Then it kind of makes sense because God's the creator of the universe. He creates a whole moral framework. So God says this, like you don't do certain things, that you don't commit murder, you don't steal, you don't engage in sodomy. And who says? Well, God says it. And this is how we structure our societies. It kind of makes sense. But why would you want to structure your society based on what the EU says or any of those other groups? And I have found it makes life a lot easier, and it's really liberating, is you don't have to be cowed by these people that are really no different than the old evangelists or missionaries or televangelists, where they're wagging their finger at you and saying you're an evil person unless you do what I say. And again, if your moral framework is God saying it, you could have an argument. But just because these people, they're trying to push this on you, their morality, but there's no basis for their morality because it's not from God. It's just what they happen to believe, whatever the current fad is, which could change by the decades. So whenever you have something like this, if someone says, oh, for example, let's say, yeah, I want white South Africans in our country. No, I don't want black Haitians in our country. Oh, but that's racist. I'm like, well, okay. Who says that's bad? And why is that bad? Shouldn't I pursue things that are going to help my life and my family and my community? That's how I start to look at things now. I want to advocate things that are good for me. And I'm not going to get in the debate about, should we celebrate sodomy or or try to eliminate homophobia or all that. That's another issue. But I always frame it as, okay, is this good for society? Is this going to improve my life? Do gay pride parades, do they improve my community? Is this what I want to see? Is this like drag queen story time hour? Is this going to improve my schools? Where if my kids are grown, but if I have grandkids in the future, do that? I want to be exposed to that. And you could answer yes or no, but you should always answer what's in your own interest. And these people try to trick you and claim that you have to adopt a morality that is against your own interest or your family's own interest. And I would say, by definition, that is evil. And so, in a sense, I'm getting beyond morality. I don't know if I'm becoming like Nietzsche. And I'm not saying I reject God, but in a sense, I don't really care about all these ins and outs and all your moral wagging your finger. Oh, there's nothing worse than being racist or sexist or biphobia. I don't really care about that anymore. I want what's best for my life and my community. And you're wagging your finger about it doesn't change my point of view. I mean, you could try to force me, threaten to kill me, or have penalties. Oh, okay, but you're just doing that based on fear. You don't have my compliance. I don't believe this is true, what you're trying to advocate. And I think this is a great way we can free ourselves, is to ask, well, wait a minute, I'm going to throw out all these terms that they throw out, like racist, sexist, homophobic, Islamophobic. I'm going to throw all that out. I'm just going to put in, does this really improve my life or not? In every instance, this is how I look. Like, when importing 10,000 Haitians to my small town, is this going to improve my life and my life of my family and my friends or not? If I import 10,000 South Africans, would that improve my life? Would that make it fine? That's how I evaluate everything. And I think this is the way that we should do our morality, is what is good for us and not what's good supposedly for other groups. I don't really care. They don't care about me or my groups or my people. I don't care about their people. I'm not hostile, but my interests should come first. And that's how we really need to look at things in life. And it's really liberating when you do that. So whenever you have someone to get up and they're lecturing you that we got to eliminate homophobia, just say, well, who says? Who says? You? What do I care what you say? You're corrupt. It's not necessarily good to have this thing in my life or my community. So why should I believe you? You guys don't even believe in God. You don't even believe in a standard morality. You think it's all relative or whatever. Well, okay, we're going to go based on that, and using that sense of morality doesn't help me. Doesn't help my family. Doesn't help my community. So go to hell. I am not going to abide by your morality. Is very liberating. Talk to you guys later.